ครับ สวัสดีครับ วันนี้จะเป็น EP ที่ 3 ที่จะมา presentation เรื่องเกี่ยวกับ Turbocharger นะครับ การ present จะเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับผม Okay, let's talk about the previous slide. The previous slide that I saw is all about how the turbocharger work and how a single turbo work and how the twin turbo work. So this presentation is going to be the variable geometry turbo. This is one of the 7 turbochargers that I have ever introduced at first at the beginning. So variable geometry turbo is a turbine. Is a new kind of the turbo that commonly used in the diesel engine. We can look at the variable nozzle here. This feature is showing how it works from the right side of its two picture. You can see that when the air enter into the housing when the air enter into the turbo housing, you can see that the variable nozzle is trying to spin up and down, and the turbine bed spinning too. As a result, both of the turbine bed and the variable nozzle spinning around rely to the amount of the air when the acceleration is pressing too. So let's talk about the variable geometry turbocharger. Perhaps one of the most exceptional forms of the turbocharging, VGTS. VGTS stands for variable geometry turbochargers, are limited in production, though very common in the diesel engine. So can this kind of a turbocharger can be found in a gasoline engine? Yes, it can be found. We can see that of the example here. This technology have been used on the Porsche 997. It's roughly around like 10 years ago of this Porsche model. Okay, to refuel VGT gasoline engine exists as the result of the cost associated. This sentence is really mean that when the gasoline engine want to put a variable geometry turbo, that you have to spend a lot of the money to have some modification on your engine to put the variable geometry turbo matching with your engine. So typically only used in diesel application where the exhaust gas are lower, so the vane will not be damaged by heat. So this sentence is really explain that why the VGT turbo can mostly be found in the diesel engine. It's because the exhaust gas are lower, so the vane will not be damaged by heat. So which means that gasoline engine might be damaged by heat. So we're going to talk about the advantage of it. The advantage of it is fast torque curve, wide and effective turbo charging at a very wide RPM range. It requires just a single turbo, simplifying a sequential turbo setup into something more compact. Okay, so this thing is really a very shielded turbo because that low turbo lag, a low boost threshold, and a wide and smooth torque band. So in other words, when you want to have a good turbo, you have to spend a lot of your money, and you will get the very good result. Totally low turbo lag, it means that totally don't have any lag of the turbo at the beginning of acceleration and at the last of the acceleration. Okay, let's talk about the next one. Variable twin scroll turbo. So we can see that twin scroll turbo mixing with the variable geometry turbocharger. So there we can see, we can say it easily that this system have been working with the two kinds of the turbocharger in just one turbocharger. First thing, we have a variable nozzle turbine, and the second thing, we have the twin scroll turbocharger. Let's see what should be what is the advantage of it and what is the disadvantage of it. The twin scroll turbocharger have a valve which can redirect exhaust flow into just a single scroll, or vary the amount valves can open and allow for the gas to completely split between two scrolls. Let's talk about the twin scroll. I'm going to go back to the twin scroll turbo. Where is it? Here. So how the system works, you can see that at the first and the fourth cylinder, the air or the oxygen go into the left nozzle, and on the right nozzle we can see that, and the second and the third intake will take the oxygen to the to the right of the twin scroll turbo. And we just imagine that the turbine compressor is a VGT turbocharger, which means that first thing, VGT turbocharger, what is the advantage of it? The advantage of it has a low turbo lag, and second is a low boost threshold and a wide and smooth torque band. What is the advantage of the twin scroll turbo? The advantage of the twin turbo increase low end torque and improve boost, which means that who gonna put this type of turbo is not gonna be cheap, it's gonna be expensive. Thus making an acceptable case for the gasoline turbocharger for allow a wide flat torque curve, more low bias in the design versus a VGT depending on the material selection, which means that you can't put in any type of the engine. You have to look at the material of your engine first, that it can really hold the power, the boost of this engine, of this turbocharger, how can maximally it can hold. Okay, it have the advantage, it also have the disadvantage of it. Okay, like I talked before, the cost certainly have it. And complexity versus using a single turbo or the traditional twin scroll, it's very complex. The technology have been paired with before quick spool valves, but doesn't seem to catch on in the production world. There are likely additional challenge with the technology. So these two sentences I just explained, it should mean that not only this kind of a turbo doesn't have produced much due to the cost and due to the complexity of putting the turbo into the engine. You have to look at the material first before that it can hold the maximum boost of it or not. Okay. Third is electric turbocharger. Electric turbocharger is a new kind of the turbo. How can it work? And who have the idea that produce this kind of the turbo? It's not very different like other turbo, just because that it have the control unit that is a different of normal turbo. It have a control unit that use the electric to work with the turbocharger. Okay, electric motors are undoubtedly becoming a larger and a more important element on the automotive propulsion landscape with each passing year. Directly supplying torque to turn the drive wheel is the most obvious use case in as in hybrid and electric vehicles. But motors are turning up everywhere, including oil and coolant pumps, and now turbocharger. Garrett Motion is preparing for what may be the first production application of electric turbocharger in 2021. So we can see that this whole article that I'm just explaining that Garrett Motion is the first company who introduced the electric turbocharger to this world, and yeah, we can see that in next year 2021 or moreover that this kind of new technology might be introduced to the street used car. Okay, we're going to talk about the disadvantage of it. Yeah, they have like 2 disadvantages of it. Okay, I'm going to explain. Showing a powerful electric motor in a mix eliminates nearly all of the drawbacks of a turbocharger. Turbo light gone. Wow, this electric turbo rarely kills turbo light. Not enough exhaust gas, no problem. Turbo can produce low end torque. Oh, just imagine that a turbo doesn't have any light, doesn't have a low end torque. It's just I can't explain like this. It's just a powerful thing that can make the engine to go run faster without any mistake. Now it can perhaps the next phase of the modern turbocharging. There are undoubtedly drawbacks of the electric part as well. There may be some kind of a new turbocharger in the future that also using also have the combination of the electric that can work with. Okay, we're going to talk about the disadvantage of it. First thing, directly connecting an electric motor to the compressor wheel, turbo light, and insufficient exhaust gas can be virtually eliminated by spinning the compressor with the electric power when needed. By connecting an electric motor to the exhaust turbine, wasted energy can be recovered. As is done in Formula 1, a very wide effective RPM range with the even torque throughout. I think that this sentence is wrong. Oh, sorry. It should be the advantage of it. Okay, the disadvantage of it is that, of course, cost and complexity, and you now must account for the electric motor and ensure it remains cool to prevent reliability issue that goes for the added controller as well. Packing and the weight become the issue, especially with the additional of battery on board, which will be necessary to supply sufficient power to the turbo when needed. VGT or twin scope can offer very similar benefit, not at quite the same level, so a significant lower cost. So I can explain very easy. When you're gonna use something like electric turbocharger, if you don't think about the cost, you should go for the VGT or twin scope or variable twin scope geometry turbocharger. This can reduce the cost. It can it have the similar output, but not much as the electric turbocharger. But it can do well as a turbocharger, as the electric turbocharger. Okay. So this is my work. So for all the turbocharger that I have been introduced in all the last 2 slides, including it will be 3. So I'm gonna put the electric turbocharger to talk in the next slide to let you know more about how electric turbocharger is significant to this world, how the electric turbocharger is something that you need to know. Alright, thank you ขอบคุณครับ